Hey guys, welcome back. So, I do apologize if my reviews have been a little bit, not as quality as of late. I know the P42 probably wasn't the greatest, but we'll see how it turns out. But today we're going to be taking a look, at the GATC tank car, for Santa Fe by American Limited. I'll get into a little bit more of the history of the car and some of that stuff in a minute. Let's go on and check out the tank cars. Now, as you can see, I've already unboxed one of these. I did that a couple of, I think a week or two ago I got that one, and I liked it so much I had to get a second, and I still have to get a couple more of these. But these are the ATSF GATC tank cars. With these particular ones are for diesel fuel, which I will get into the specifics of that in a moment. Let's go ahead and unbox the one that I have not done yet. Alright, I had to get it open the first bit. Alright, so something to watch out for whenever you are getting this car out, actually I'll put that back for now, is this thing does have functional roller bearings on the trucks, though sometimes they can fall out. It looks like they give you little baggie with, the camera's not focusing on it of course, but little baggie with some spare roller bearings, but that is something to watch out for. It's just the price to pay for... Come on, jeez. There we go. It's just the price to pay for awesome detail, so just keep that in mind. Alright, there is... oh, jeez. There is the car, and I will have to get those roller bearings put back in. Alright, so there's the two cars. I have not gone ahead and put the roller bearings back in. Again, that is something that I wanted to go ahead and mention briefly. Because they are, that is a thing. And actually, looking at it, it has just occurred to me that the 70s variant, which that is the 70s variant, has the roller bearings, whereas the older one has correctly modeled the box journals. So that is accurately modeled. They did switch it to roller bearings in the 70s. Which we're going to go ahead and get to the history of the cars now, but that is, again, just something to keep in mind. These sometimes will fall out. Anybody who has any experience with scale trains in their cars probably knows exactly what I'm talking about, because I've had the same thing happen with them. But again, that's the price you pay for amazing detail. So, brief history of these cars. Let's see, which it says on the American Limited website. In the years following World War II, the ATSF purchased two groups of welded tank cars delivered in 1949 and 1953, each with 16,000 gallon capacity. So I guess that I meant to mention that, this is 16,000 gallon cars. Prior to the acquisition of these two new classes of tank cars, riveting was the primary method of assembling the tank cars. These two new classes of tank cars were constructed by GATC, General American Tank Car Corp., with welded tanks and underframes using new retooling developed during and after the war. The Santa Fe ordered these two classes of welded tank cars equipped with AB brakes, Ajax handbrakes, and 70-ton ASF A3 ride control trucks. So that would be what this one has been described as they were upgraded later. This is the as delivered. This is the 70s. In the 70s, they did some changing, which we will get to. The Santa Fe instituted a color coding system to delineate the tank car's lading. Am I saying that right? I don't know. But the load. As such, these tank cars wore colorful paint schemes with color-coded end bands and dome bands to clearly indicate the specific use. Now, American Limited makes these in diesel fuel oil, which is what both of these are, as well as, I'm looking at their website, but I'm also trying to think of it off the top of my head here. They do solvent, gasoline, and I thought there was one more. They also do, I think, just general use as well for just GATC, excuse me. If I remember correctly. Let's see. The railroad upgraded many of these GATC welded tank cars in the 70s with modern safety appliances, including roller bearing trucks, and replacing the side walkways with safety bars, preventing the employees from slipping under the cars. Which is what this is. As you can see, this one, we'll get to it whenever we do detail. That one has the walkway, this one does not. This one also has roller bearings, as previously mentioned. Many of these 16,000-gallon tank cars lasted until the 90s in company service or maintenance of way service. So what these would generally be used for is they'd be used by the Santa Fe to buy gas, diesel fuel, as cheap as they could, and transport it where they needed to transport it, and then find the next place to buy cheap fuel. That is pretty much what these were used for. It is often overlooked by model railroaders that the railroad itself is an industry, in that you're going to need fuel. You're going to need, for your locomotives and whatnot, you're going to need probably sand for the sand house. You're going to need parts and equipment and maintenance and stuff. Maintenance of way equipment, fuel. On a steam railway, you would need shipments of coal, and probably you wouldn't need water because you'd want a source of water nearby. But that's something that I find is often overlooked, and these tank cars help model that, as that is exactly what they are used for. These served the Santa Fe specifically to haul fuel for the locomotives and different stuff for different railroad purposes. Again, they've got these in both eras, and for diesel fuel, gasoline, and solvent. I think that there's something else that I'm missing, but I don't know. This is not sponsored or anything. I absolutely, I got this one, and I fell in love, and I was like, I gotta get another one. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at both of the details on both of these, because I have quite a lot to say. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do on this video. I've got quite a lot to say on these, so let's go ahead and take a closer look. Alright, I'm trying to minimize the glare from the light that I've got as much as possible. It's not doing a great job of that. Do apologize for that. So as you can see, we have got all writing is legible under magnification. Actually, most of it is just legible to the naked eye, but maybe over on that end, some of that I can't quite read. But as you can see, this is the as delivered version with the walkways, which are beautifully see-through. If we go ahead and tip the car, you can see the light shining through that absolutely amazingly detailed, amazingly well done walkway. Again, this sounds very sponsored. It is not sponsored, I promise you. If somebody wants to sponsor me, please hit me up. I would love a sponsorship. Actually, I would love a sponsorship with Woodland Scenics for their lighting system. I quite love that, and I have a couple of projects coming up that I would love to have the lighting system for. But anyway, absolutely amazingly well done. Every detail on this thing that you could possibly be on this thing is on there. So you've got the walkway, you've got the obviously the ladder, the crew hatch, and all that stuff. So as you can see, this one is the as delivered, and it does have the box journal bearings on the truck. I'm relatively certain that I'm saying that correctly. Obviously on the end here we have, if it'll focus, we have the brake wheel. It's kind of hard to see on camera. Another warning label. The coupler, excellently well done piping all down the side. You've got this handrail right here. On the other side, it's much of the same. It is, mirrored on the other side. So you've got the gray band here for diesel fuel on each end of the car, and you also have the band around the dome. And again, you'd have different bands for different things. So it does say diesel fuel on it, but from a distance, you would be able to tell just because it's gray, which I think is a neat little bit of how they did things. And much of the same on this side, tipping it on the bottom very carefully. You can see every little bit of brake detail has been modeled. Every little line, every little mechanism, everything is there. It is just excellently modeled. Excellently. Alright, taking a look at the 70s variant, we have, is that on the other one? Yes, it is. We have something that I missed was, this is very, I guess that's part of the brake detail, but it's very visible on both of the cars. This is the 70s variant, so they upgraded the paint and lettering on it. Changing that. They also removed these walkways because employees were getting sucked up under the... Oops, I have hit it. They also removed these walkways because the employees were getting sucked under their cars, so you start to see the progression to the standard modern tank cars we see today, where they do not have the walkways. Instead, they have the bars there. Looks like the ladder has a bit of an extension on it to get all the way to the ground. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, though. Again, roller bearing trucks instead of the box bearings. Handbrake, warning label, coupler, air hose. All of the things, every little detail it could possibly be on. And though this one doesn't have the walkways, the platforms at the top are the same as the ones on the previous one, where they are excellently modeled and very, very see-through, which is accurate. And then again, much of the same on this side. And again, taking a look underneath, again, much of the same. Every little detail on that brake line. I know you may be noticing on this one that the roller bearings are missing on that wheel and those two. I just have to simply put them back on. I may be missing one, but it may have simply fallen out of the box whenever I went to open it, because I had 4 that were popped off and only 3 spares, but there are actually, it does come with a little package of a couple of spares in case that some get lost. So just keep that in mind. And they're a little finicky to get back on, but they're not too bad. But that is that. I'm going to go ahead and change the battery in the camera, geez, and then come back with a couple of additional things. Alright, taking a look at coupler height. I have been running, this is the new one, but the other one I have been running a decent amount, and it has had no trouble whatsoever. Coupler height looks on point there. I have, just because it's easier to see it if I do it this way, I have moved, I've just grabbed a couple of spare bits of track and everything to check coupler height over here. Coupler height looks pretty spot on the other side as well. Oops, my light. Checking the other car. This is the as delivered variant. That looks pretty spot on. Need a little bit more room there. And of course, maybe a tad low. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good compared to other things that I've seen. Alright, I'm also going to grab the scale and check the weight of these as well. I'll do the... which one is this one? The as delivered version first. And that is 3.60 ounces. That's milliliters, so that's useless. 102 grams. 0.225 pounds. And looks like 0 pounds and 36 ounces. Looks like it. For the other one, I'm expecting it to be pretty similar, so I'm just going to do the pounds and ounces for you guys. 3.6 ounces looks like 0 pounds. But they run really well. They're relatively light, but they do run really well. So I will go ahead and set back up for closing remarks. Alright, so the last thing I will say is I very much love these cars. And I will absolutely be getting more. That's a little bit better. So I absolutely am loving both of these. I'm absolutely going to be going and getting a couple of more of them. They are amazing. I highly recommend checking them out. They have their own website just because I want to support them. Again, I get nothing out of this. These are just that amazing. I will probably put the link down in the description below to their website. They've got a couple of other interesting things I hope to eventually get my hands on. And these guys are going places, so I want to support them because we need to be supporting anybody in this hobby who's getting to this level of detail. Holy cow, these are amazing. So feel free to check them out if you want these for yourself, or check at your local brick and mortar. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember off the top of my head how much these were. I should probably start thinking about that. I want to say it was like $50 to $60 for it. I don't remember, but that again, go. I recommend going and checking them out, especially if you model 70s era or a bit earlier. These are really really neat, and I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on some more. But that is pretty much it for today. I will be doing a run-by, so stick around for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informative and everything. Be sure to put any comments, questions, concerns down in the comments below. I always try to answer as much of them as I can. Sometimes I miss stuff. So if I don't get around to yours, I'm probably a little bit busy. I run a couple of other things going on involving YouTube in the background of this, so sometimes I get to stuff, sometimes I don't. But be sure to do that, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy the run-by.